Good evening, everybody. Welcome. My name is Chef Rob. I hope everybody's doing good out there, enjoying the summer. A little humid today, but it's summer, right? So we're going to make something really cool dish that is really refreshing and light, and it's perfect for this time of the year. I'm going to do a seared shrimp, and I'm going to make a mango pineapple relish. And then I have something else for everybody too, okay? The recipes I sent to the library, they hopefully are up on the website or on the Facebook page, but I did send them to the library for you, okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to start getting the shrimp seared. I'm just going to turn on this burner right here. I'm using the size 15 shrimp, which is a nice size shrimp for this. And I'm going to take the tails off because when I always was in the restaurant business or being a personal chef, I always thought about either the guest that was coming over to the house or the patron in the restaurant or even in the library. So I am just going to take these little tails off, okay, and it will make it a lot easier to eat. And to make it, since it's a nice large shrimp, we could just slice this right down the middle too, and they will cook a little bit quicker. Just gonna put that over here. The size 15 shrimp to anywhere up to 30 shrimp are excellent as far as trying to have the best taste. Don't go any smaller, don't go any larger than that, because it will not be as good. So as you can see, I am just splitting this all right down the middle. Just going to put it in this small bowl right here. And now I can make out of these, since they're pretty large, I can make like 6 lettuce cups. So really nice for entertaining. The white Gulf shrimp are always the best tasting shrimp I have found. You will pay the price for it though. They can be very pricey. Okay, so they're all in halves. I'm just going to put that knife to the side so I don't use that on anything else. Now what I want to do is start getting my pan hot. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil in here. If anybody has any questions, please feel free. My son Chris is here and he will read any questions. So you just want to basically coat the bottom of this pan, okay? And I'm going to put it on a medium-high heat. This, it can tend to smoke, so if you have a little burner and you could do it outside, that is perfect for it. If not, it'll be fine inside. You just do it at a lower temperature. Okay. So I am just going to put some of the red pepper flakes. You just want a little sprinkling of them because they are spicy. If you don't like spice, just leave them out. We'll be fine. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the Old Bay seasoning. Just a little hint of it. Just like that. Just enough to season these up really well. And now what I want to do is just toss this around. Really good. I want to make sure they're nice and coated. And they'll have a nice spice to it. Okay. So I'm going to get this oil here nice and hot. Going to drop these in here, get them seared, and then we'll start making our mango pineapple relish. Okay. Again, if anybody has any questions, please send them in to Chris, and even if it's say hello, all right? I don't get to know everybody's names, but would love to hear from you. So always great to do a class for the Bayport-Blue Point Library. You guys have been fantastic to me over the years. I guess I've been there like 7 to 8 years now, almost since the beginning. I think you were my 3rd library. Wow. Okay, so this is nice and hot. I am just going to drop these shrimp in here, just like this. Now, I'll tell you a little story as I am cooking these shrimp. And these only take a few minutes on each side, okay? You can just flip them really once and that'll be it. Make sure you get some of that oil to the other side of the pan, just in case the pan's a little off.
We have a few comments.
Okay.
Sue Fenley said, "Hi, Chef and Chris." And
hello, Sue.
Carol Jensen said, "Hi, Chef Rob."
Hello, Carol. How are you? So last night, Chris and we did a class at the Southeast Steuben County Library up by Elmira, way up there. We did it. Yeah, we had a lot of traffic. We went from the living room to the dining room, and that was it. So that really went well. We enjoyed doing that. So one time when I was doing this, it was actually at the Dix Hills Public Library. I was doing this exact same dish there, and I was making 40 shrimp. And it has spice to it. And when it has spice on it, and it has some heat, it actually starts going out to the crowd. And the crowd, I got one lady started coughing, then I got another lady coughing, and then all of a sudden, all 40 people were coughing. It was just like they caught a cold all within a minute. And so I told Chris, I said, just stand way back out of this. But I am only cooking 3 shrimp here, too. Okay, so he doesn't have to worry. All right, so I am going to start, while these shrimp are cooking, I'm going to cut up this pineapple. The pineapple, a good way to tell is if you could pull the leaf out. Usually it is ripe, but there is some pineapples, depending where you're getting them from. They come from all different regions. Sometimes they will pull out and they will be ripe. So you do have to keep an eye on that. Yes, Chris?
Carol said the meal yesterday looked delicious and she can't wait to try it.
The pasta dish? Oh,
yeah.
Yes, please make that. You will love that one. I reaped the rewards from that one last night. I was really happy to have that one last night. So, okay, these still have a few minutes here. I'm just going to cut up the pineapple. Just going to cut this little top right off here. Cut the bottom off. They sell a little pineapple gadget that you can just put right over it. It just kind of peels the whole thing, and it actually works really well. But when I go a lot of times to the libraries, I can't bring everything because, as you know, I cart everything into the libraries. So I am just taking the outer skin off of this. Now, when you get the pineapple home, a lot of people will say it's pretty hard. I'm going to ripen it on the counter. Okay? Believe it or not, you really don't ripen it. All it does is get a little softer. So it really will never get any more ripe than it is in the supermarket. But since it gets softer, the tendency is that it will taste sweeter too. Okay? So look at these shrimp. These are absolutely beautiful shrimp. Again, these are white Gulf shrimp. And then with the little seasoning on there and the high heat, it gives it a nice crispness to it. I'm just going to lower that. They are just about done. I'm going to dice up about 1 cup, so almost about half of the pineapple. I'm going to leave this part over here. Get any of those little spots off that you may have missed, or I may have missed. I have more at the end of August with the Bayport-Blue Library, so please check it out. If you're not on my Facebook page, please go to it, and you will see my lineup for all the nights where I will be. And it's simply Creative Chef Rob. So now I just turn these around and just put it into little cubes just like this. And those shrimp are done, so I'm going to take them off. Just going to leave these right in the pan. And I'll just put them right on top of a bowl. That way I don't burn this plastic tablecloth here. So I'm just going to put this pineapple in here. You want to cut it into smaller pieces.
Joanne Fiore said, "Hi, Chef Rob. Miss seeing you in person."
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you so much. Someday we will be back and you'll see me lugging my stuff into the libraries again. So it'll happen. It'll just take time. We all just need to be really, really good with this. Take care of each other. Do the right thing for the person next to you. I am just going to take a tomato. The tomatoes, always face them straight down. That way the moisture will not get into them and they will last a lot longer. Just going to cut that little end off. These are plum tomatoes, which are Chef's favorite type of tomatoes because they really hold up well. So if you're stuffing a tomato, the skin doesn't tend to open up and kind of just go splat, okay? Kind of has a nice shape. So if it's supposed to roast for 20 minutes and you forgot them, you go back in 30 minutes, the tomato's still holding its form. So those are the plum tomatoes. Okay, so I'm just going to put these tomatoes in here.
You have another comment?
Sure.
Sue Fennelly said, you guys are the busiest guys ever. It's like, where's Waldo? Never know where you're going to pop up.
Well, this Friday night, Chris and I, we're going to be in Massachusetts at the Bellingham Public Library at 6:30. And you can go on it. It's Zoom, but you can get their Zoom info. And we're going to make, you may have seen it before, but the chocolate chip cookie pizza. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of fresh ground black pepper, a little bit of kosher salt. That will bring out that fruit flavor really nicely. Just a little hint of the Old Bay seasoning. It's called crab boil. So when you're boiling crabs, it's about a teaspoon that would go in here. Has a little kick to it, but nothing that will, set you on fire. Now some red onion. You can put as much or as little as you like. I like a little bit of onion since it's the fruit in this. So I'm using about a little less than a half of a red onion. And I'm just going to dice this up small. You could do the same exact recipe and just grill some chicken the same way. Put some of the same seasoning on it, grill it, or put it in a pan and make it with the mango pineapple relish.
We have another comment from your wife.
My wife is out there. She actually watches this show. Isn't commercials better than this?
She said, that's the way I felt when he was physically at a different library each night. I never knew where he was without looking at his calendar.
My wife used to ask me, where are you going tonight? Where are you going tonight? And then when I really took off and started going to every different library, she just stopped asking. She just said, he's somewhere on the island. I have a great wife. I love my wife. My two boys, they are so great. So proud of them. I am going to put in some orange juice, fresh orange juice. Just roll these really good, just like this. Just need about, this one is pretty large. I'm just going to put about a quarter of the fresh orange juice in here. There is no pits in this one, but if there is, you just do it right through your fingers. Squeeze that out really good. And then I have a total different dish that you weren't even supposed to get tonight. So I'm going to do that in a little bit, and you have to make it. It's a mozzarella, tomato, and basil quesadilla with a Parmesan crust. You have to try it. It's so good. And there's nothing like when it gets right out of the pan. But let me continue on with this right here. I'm just going to take some fresh cilantro. I know, half of you don't want me to put the cilantro in, but half of you say, please put it in, right?
Sue said you are a very lucky man, so blessed.
I am just going to chop this up really well. Make sure you wash it really good, because it does have a lot of sand, a lot of bacteria in it, so you want to wash that excellent. If you don't like the cilantro, just put in Italian parsley. Okay, that will be fine. I'm just going to mix this up well, just like that. Okay, does that have summer all over it? Now I'm going to do some mango. The mangoes, right now, they have a really nice blush skin to them. And these are really good. They're coming from Mexico right now. When it is March and into early April, they have these really dark green ones. Not even like, almost like this basil leaf green. They're that dark. And they're some of the best mangoes that you can get. and they come from Guatemala and Peru. So always look for them in the stores.
Ronnie Espinoza said, "Looks good. I love cilantro."
I put it in there for you, Ronnie.
Vani.
Ivani?
No, Vani.
Vani, I'm sorry. Say when I'm not reading the names, I didn't hear my son right. Okay, so I am just going to peel this, the mango. You can cut it down just like this and then kind of make like a little checkerboard in there, or you can peel it. When you train yourself from day one, you teach yourself the way you're going to do it pretty much the rest of your life, and that is what I did. And I take a real sharp knife, just go around the outside of this, get all that skin. The way to tell if the mango is ripe is if your thumb goes in it just a little bit, not a big soft spot, but just enough where it would sink in just a little. That means it's nice and ripe. Make sure there are no black spots on the outside of the mango, because if there are black spots out there, it means it is getting old. Okay, so always kind of look for them when you buy them. If they are really, really solid and you want to use them in a day or two, put them in a brown paper bag and put them in with an apple, a banana, or a tomato, and they will be ready within 2 days. It really works great. So what I'm going to do is lay this mango down. You can see the juice on this, that it's really fresh. I'm going against the pit, but I don't want any of that stringy part. Okay, now I can lay it down and cut a little more just like this. And I do want to use the whole mango. And what do you do with the pit at the end? Yeah, eat it, because it has so much flavor. But then you will have to floss for about an hour, because that gets stuck in your teeth so much. The peaches, the California peaches are really, really good right now. So if you're not a mango fan and you like your peaches, switch this out with some of the peaches. Pretty soon we will have the local peaches, and they will be really good. I got some local corn yesterday out on the North Fork. Always try to buy that local stuff for everybody. Really important. Okay, now I am just going to slice this into thin strips and then just give it a little twist. And now tomorrow night, for anybody that would like to watch, you can go to, it is on Zoom, and it's at the Plain Edge Public Library, and I am doing a Greek ravioli salad. And it's boiled ravioli turned into a Greek pasta salad, and it's really tasty. And then I'm going to be doing a few other recipes as well. So it's a really good summer dish. Okay, instead of ravioli with a tomato sauce or an Alfredo sauce. In the fall, I am going to do a tortellini with a pumpkin Alfredo sauce. And it has like a little hint of nutmeg or pumpkin pie spice in it, and it's really tasty. Okay, so this mango is just about done, so I can start plating these up and show you how pretty and beautiful these can really look. You do want to just give this a good toss, get all that flavor in there. Okay, that is good. Now I am just going to take my lettuce leaves.
Sue X, what's the library tomorrow?
The library tomorrow at Plain Edge Public Library, and it is at 7 o'clock, and it is on Zoom. Okay, so I'm just going to take these romaine hearts, and I'm just going to take some nice ones, nice bigger ones, I'm taking them off the plate for a second, and make almost like these little lettuce cups. Sometimes they could be a little hard to eat, but you can just eat it right out of it. I'm going to set like, I guess 4 really nice ones up, just like that. Okay, so I want to take some of this mixture right here and just kind of spoon it on. Again, if you don't like the seafood, do this with chicken, and it will come out really, really delicious. Okay, good. And whatever lettuce you really do like would be fine. Oh, I always try to make sure I get some of those tomatoes in there too, so this way it kind of throws off really, really nice color. And thank you to everybody who has been watching my programs night after night and traveling all around with me. See, isn't it nice going to like Massachusetts? You don't have to pay tolls, you don't have to take the ferry, anything like that. Okay, so I am going to take some of these nicely seared shrimp, and I'm just going to put one on here, one on here, another one right here, and I'm just going to leave these on the side, because when you overcrowd a plate, you really can't see how pretty it really is then. You want to spread them out a little bit. You can put little orange wedges in there just for a little bit of color.
Someone asked, could you use iceberg?
Iceberg, absolutely. Sure, that would be fine. Okay, just decorate it like that. And this is our seared shrimp with mango and pineapple relish in lettuce cups.
And someone asks, where would I find the written recipe? Looks great, thank you.
The library should have it, so I don't know, I'm not sure if they're open now. I think they are open now, but if they're not, after the class, call them up, email them, and they will have it up, okay?
Or it'll be posted within the next day or two.
Yeah, because I know I sent the recipes probably a while back, and then I resent it definitely about an hour ago, okay? So, okay, time to make the quesadilla. And that recipe will be up there for you as well. But if you want to make these probably tomorrow night or something, you can write this down and you can always take notes. Before we make the quesadillas, I want to show everybody, my son and I, we've been filming YouTube videos, and we have been doing, yes, believe it or not, Halloween for the children already, because we have to film it now, upload them, and then send it to the library. So these are scarecrow cupcakes, and you could do them with cookies, and these are little brownies, and those you just make little wooden signs, use the little candy pumpkins, and you put them right on there, and it makes it kind of festive. So that Chris and I do on our off time, right, Chris? Are you enjoying your off time?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put this pan on here, but I'm gonna leave it off. I'm just gonna take about 3 tablespoons of butter. This butter is softened already. Okay, so as you can see, I take it out about an hour ahead of time, so it should have a little kind of like that type of texture. You don't want to melt this at all. Okay. And now I'm going to take some Parmesan Reggiano cheese, and I'm just going to grate about an ounce worth, which is probably close to a 1/4 cup to maybe a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to grate this really good. Parmesan Reggiano cheese can be expensive. It's about $9 a pound in the clubs, and then probably about $13, $14, $15 in the regular supermarkets. But always grate it just like this, so you really, really get to enjoy that taste. If you happen to put a little extra cheese in here, it will be fine. Okay, that is perfect. Now, with this, you can see that it says on here, the Parmesan Reggiano cheese, which means it's of course really good. Take this little part right here, the rind, and throw that into some tomato sauce or some pasta visual or minestrone, and it will throw off so much good flavor. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to take this softened butter and the Parmesan Reggiano cheese and just kind of mash it together. Just going to make a little soft mixture. Chris and I actually did this one about an hour and a half ago because we did this one for a YouTube video. So we had practice, didn't we, Chris?
Yep.
And after this, what do we do? Go on our bikes?
Eat.
Eat, and then go on our bikes. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to take some of the soft tortillas. You can use any size. Any size would be fine. I'm just going to use, for example, like a, this one is about a 7-inch one, so this is a little bit smaller, but it's what I have. So I'm going to make it work. A quesadilla is a quesadilla. Now what I want to do on the outside of this soft tortilla is just take this butter and Parmesan mixture and just, it's almost like you're making garlic bread but on a tortilla. And just basically coat it, but you do want to make sure that cheese is in there because that will make it look golden brown and make it taste really, really good. Okay, and then just one more. Cut up the tomatoes. Just don't make it too greasy because then it becomes, yeah, you don't want it to be, you just want it to be nice and golden brown. This butter will actually serve as browning it in the pan, so you don't have to put any oil in or any more butter. This is all you're going to cook it in. So it's very, very little amount right here. Okay, a little sticky, but it's okay. So now what I want to do, always use like a cutting board or something that you can put it on and not have a mess afterwards. I'm going to chop up some tomatoes. Again, I'm using the plum tomatoes. You can use probably up to a cup's worth when you're making all of these, which is probably about 2 whole plum tomatoes. Okay. So even at home I use the gloves, you know, but I don't have a sink behind me where I can just kind of go like that, so it's easier like that instead of me running back and forth to the sink. I'm just going to cut this tomato small little pieces. You can take the seeds out, but these so tiny, nothing, they're all fine, don't need to. I am going to put it just on half because that's the way you would make a quesadilla. Another half right here. You definitely have to make these for your family because they do have a lot of good taste. You could take a little bit of diced up grilled chicken if you want to make it a little heartier. Okay, a little bit of sun-dried tomatoes, roasted peppers. The biggest thing though about this is making sure that you don't have too much moisture on it because the moisture from it will really kind of, you know, make it messy and not crisp up in the pan. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to take a little bit of kosher salt. Sprinkle just a little bit. Getting that over here. A little twist of black pepper. And now I'm going to take some fresh basil leaves. Just going to pick these off. With the basil, never wash it. Just take a little damp paper towel and just kind of pat it dry. Okay, that's all you want to do with it. I'm going to leave this over here. And now I'm just going to shred this basil nicely and just drop a little bit right on top. I need a little more. I could always put a little more, maybe one more for this one right here. you never want to cook basil, because basil, if you ever taste it cooked and you're putting it in a pan with some onions, something like that, it will throw off a horrible taste. So never cook with basil. Okay, now what I want to do is just, it's getting ahead of me, so I don't want to do that. I'm just going to grate some mozzarella cheese. Even if you buy a chunk of mozzarella cheese compared to a bag that is already pre-grated, the chunk that you would buy, even like a Polio, will taste a lot better than when it's grated. Okay, and that goes for the cheddar, it goes for the Monterey, any of those cheeses too. Now, what I do with this cheese, right before I'm about to use it, I throw it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. So it has a little frost on it, very little, but it's a little easier to grate, okay? And then nothing really sticks to it. You could always take a little bit of spray the outside and a little bit on the inside there, and as you grate it, nothing will stick to it. So now what I want to do is just put some mozzarella cheese on the inside of the quesadilla. And then I'll give you some different ideas of what you could do with these. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this burner on. It has a little heat to it right now, so that is good. I'm going to fold them in half, just like a quesadilla, and then we're going to just kind of brown them on each side, and then they're ready to enjoy. And anybody, any questions out there, Chris?
Nope, don't see anything.
Just sitting back and saying, give me some of this? Okay, so now I'm going to take the Parmesan and butter side and make sure that is on the outside. Now, if you're going to make these, just really watch what I'm doing here, because it could mean whether you have a good dinner or a bad dinner, okay? Or a good appetizer or a bad appetizer. I am putting this on at like a medium heat right here. So I'm just going to take this, put it right in the pan. You're going to hear somewhat of a sizzle, because that, with the butter on it already, you can see it loosens up, so you don't need any more butter or oil.
Sue said that's what I was thinking. Yummy.
Oh, good, good. I'm just going to put this on medium to almost like a medium low. I'm putting the lid on there, and then with the lid on there, what it actually does is it will keep the heat in there, and it will let the cheese melt really well. And then if you're making more for your family or for a party, you can go right on to the next batch. You can take these and you could put these in the oven while you're making another batch. Just put them in a 200 oven, okay? 200 degree oven is all you really need, okay? But one important thing is peek after them every once in a while, okay? Because all of a sudden, if you have it on a little too high of a heat, you are going to see that they burn. They are fine, but I can see I'm getting some nice golden color on the bottom right now. Also on Friday at 3:30, I'm at the Riverhead Library, and I am doing the chocolate chip cookie pizza as well. I think it's my last one Friday for the summer.
It's about time.
Chris is glad. He's tired of seeing me film that one. And then I'm doing a raspberry ricotta mousse. Okay, that one is really easy, really simple. That one at Riverhead Library at 3:30 is on Facebook, and it's on Zoom too. A lot of times I send them the recipes, but they never put them up, so you have to keep after them. But I sent them already this morning. Okay, I want to keep an eye on this. Look how nice and golden brown that is. Now, that was about 1.5 minutes, so it depends on how high you have it turned up. And now, flip that over. And you are just going to taste real good cheese on the outside of that. And I'm just going to throw the lid on. What I'm going to do, if you're afraid of burning it, because that cheese can burn really quickly. That's why if you see I'm staying with it. Then again, I'm on camera, so I can't go anywhere. I can't go on my bike, come back in a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is just stay with it, and I reduce the temperature to almost low. And that way it makes sure it doesn't burn too much. You could serve this with some pesto on the side, or just brush a little bit on the quesadilla at the very end. That will taste really good. A little marinara on the side. Maybe a bolognese, and dipping it in there and having a meat sauce, because you have no meat in here. And then you can have some meat just to dip it in. An artichoke spread. Years ago at the libraries, in one of my cookbooks, I have an artichoke dip, and that spread on here would be really, really good. So let me have some questions, Chris. Tell them they have to give me questions.
Nope, don't see any right now.
Can't get them, right? Okay. All right. So right now, we plan on doing virtual definitely into the beginning of 2021. That is what I'm booking for right now at a lot of the different libraries. If you go to my Facebook page, Simply Creative Chef Rob Scott, or no Scott, just Simply Creative Chef Rob, you'll see my schedule, and I usually have it up there every week by Sunday. Okay. Okay, you can see this is nice and hot, sizzling. And now I am just going to take these out, put them on the cutting board, and they are just really golden brown and have such a good flavor. Again, if you have more that you needed to put in the oven, what you would do is put these in an oven at 200 degrees, just so they're kind of sitting there in park. They're not cold, but they're staying warm. And then you can serve them. You can cut them into little triangles, almost like this. Get 4 out of 1. Or if you want a hearty meal, you just cut them right down the middle. Like this. I'm going to get this plate right here. And then Chris is going to go right down the line, and he's going to show you everything that we did make. Oh, I think tomorrow night, besides the Greek ravioli salad, I am making a chilled gazpacho. I made that probably about 7 years ago in the libraries. And it's a vegetarian soup, and all fresh vegetables, and it is just has so much flavor. And you want to chill it for almost a day before you enjoy it, because the colder it is and the more it sits, the better the flavor is. Okay, so Chris is going to show you all the different dishes. Everybody, how is Chris out there? Is he doing good or what?
Terrible.
No, he's good. He's been doing a fantastic job for me. He uploads all my YouTube videos. He does all this filming. He takes care of anything technical, because
Facebook and
I have no knowledge of it. Okay, I don't even know the remote control for the TV. Okay, I'm that bad. But this is my thing, and it's always been that. You know, fresh food. Do the right thing, and hopefully this brings enjoyment to you folks out there, and for all you people that always watch me or come to the libraries all the time. Can't thank you enough, because I wouldn't be going to libraries or doing this if you didn't come to my programs. So I can't thank you enough. I've thoroughly enjoyed this for over 8 years now. And it's really been fun. The library's working with 90 different libraries, and now out of state I work with probably 15 out of state libraries right now. And you don't go to a library when they're not nice. They're all just beautiful, wonderful people, and that's really, really good. And you guys at Bayport-Blue Point, I mean, since day one, I mean, your children, your teen, your adults, the class is always full. It's filled in a minute, and not just my programs, but every program you put out there. And that's credit to you guys for going out there and doing such a great job. Yes, Chris.
Susan Buckingham Christensen said, "Great job, Chris. Thank you." Aunt Prudy said, "Where will you be tomorrow night? I have a hard time finding you."
I will be at the Plain Edge Public Library, and it's on Zoom, and that of course is in Long Island, and you can just go to their website, and they will show it to you. Okay.
Joanne Fiore said, "Great job, both of you. Thanks for all the tips too."
Absolutely.
And Kathy Bedka said, "Thank you. Chris is fantastic, and so are you, Chef Rob."
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so everybody, it's still light outside, so go for your last walk for the day, okay? Because I'm going to. I'm going on the bike too. So everybody, stay well, stay safe, and I hope to see you tomorrow. And again, everybody, thank you from the Bayport-Blue Library. Always a pleasure. Bye-bye.